Hi there, this is Kendall from Sager Family Farm, and today I'm going to go through my January beekeeping checklist. If you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe down below. In January, my main objective is to see what's happening inside of the hive. It has probably been at least 6 weeks since I've opened my hives, so this could be a bit of a surprise. I want to know if the bees are booming and need more space, if they are just hanging in there and maybe even need their space reduced, or if the hive has died. For a January inspection, you have to make sure to choose a nice, sunny, windless day. So today is about 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and as you can see, the bees behind me are nice and active. The first hive I'll inspect is the one with the most activity at the entrance. I can see the bees bringing in pollen, so this is a good sign. When I open this hive, there are bees covering all 10 frames. The frames on the outer edges of the hive are already being filled with nectar. As I get closer to the middle, there are capped brood, and these ones that are raised are going to be drones. The queen lays drones around the edges of the brood nest. I'm even seeing some adult drones in here, but we'll see more in the coming months as the bees prepare for breeding. This frame is near the middle of the cluster, and now I'm seeing some young larvae. I actually even managed to find my marked queen in here, but even if I didn't find her, I know that there is a very active queen in here because I've seen eggs, larvae, and lots of capped pupae in here. This hive is looking great and actually needs some more space because I am seeing frame after frame of lovely capped brood in here, which means there's going to be a lot of young bees in here very shortly. I removed the frames with only nectar in them and leave the brood centered in this box. I'll fill in the blank space with drawn comb. Now I'm going to add another box on top. I put the frames of nectar that I just removed into the middle of this box and filled the rest with drawn comb. Now let's look at the pink hive that has some entrance activity, but definitely not as much as the orange hive that we just looked at. When I open this hive, I see that there are definitely fewer bees in here. The bees are covering about 4 frames, so I want to check if they are occupying the box below them. Nope. This is not a cluster. These bees are likely returning foragers, and this box is probably completely unoccupied. So for this hive, I'll remove the bottom box and replace it with the box that was on top that contains the main cluster. You might notice that one of my boxes had newspaper on it. That's because I combined 2 struggling colonies in fall, so I already knew this hive was not in great shape going into winter. When I double check the bottom box, there's nothing but empty comb. So I'll just brush the bees from this box in with the rest of the cluster so that I can remove that box and store it for later in the spring. When I inspect the brood frames in this hive, I find supersedure cells. These are queen cells at the top of the frame that are found when bees are trying to replace their queen. I'm also seeing scattered drone brood, which means this queen might not be very fertile. I was able to find the queen. She is marked, but she has a very short abdomen. She definitely wasn't one of my best girls. The pink hive is just hanging in there. If they do make it to spring, I'm going to want to requeen them, but for now I just have to hope they make it through another month. Last, we'll check the yellow hive that has almost no activity. The 1 or 2 bees coming into this hive are likely robbing it of resources. When I open this hive, there are just spiders and ants inside. This hive didn't make it. So I'm going to take this box away for now. I want to know why these bees died before I reuse the frames. Performing a postmortem is a subject for another video, but there are about a dozen dead worker bees and the queen bee in here. Looking back at my notes, I knew this hive had high levels of varroa mites, and therefore viruses, so I'm not surprised that they didn't make it. So in all, I have a great booming hive, 1 hive that's just hanging in there, and 1 that didn't make it. And that wraps up my January hive checkup. See you next time on the farm!